What up, sports fans and fellow foodies? I'm Julie, and welcome to my kitchen, where each week I talk sports while whipping up culinary treats. And this week, we're bringing something special to the plate, just like those sluggers in the World Baseball Classic. I've gotten into it. I've got the fever. I still can't figure out when to watch Japan. I keep missing those games because of the weird hours. But I've been watching the U.S., I've seen the Dominican, I've seen Mexico. Holy cow, Mexico just demolished Brazil just a short while ago, 16-0. Love that these games have slaughter rules in place. But it's setting up some great matchups in the next few days. I'm representing 4 countries here that are all undefeated so far in the early round play. So what we got going on, we've got Grand Slam nachos. I'm going to show you nachos 4 ways based on 4 of the countries I've been watching. Nachos, always great for baseball, right? I made some of my own tortilla chips by using these lovely tortillas. If you've never made them from scratch before, I just cut them up with kitchen shears into nice little triangles, put them on a sheet pan, sprayed them with some butter Pam, sprinkle them with salt, 7, 8, 9 minutes, you're good. 350 degrees. So I have my homemade nachos here and here, my homemade tortilla chips in these 2 quadrants. Here, I've got some store-bought ones that look kind of like the restaurant style. And down here, I've got the little bites, the circles. These are in my Japanese quadrant because they look like the circle on the Japanese flag. Booyah. All right, so I got my chips made ahead of time. Got everything set up in here. Here's what we're going to be making. In this corner, we have the Dominican Republic. Here we've got Japan. Here we've got Mexico. And in the final quadrant, the good old US of A. So we're going to start here with our Dominican Republic. I have the homemade tortilla chips that I made, and I've got them layered with plantains. If you want to make your own platanos, you can buy the plantains in the grocery store, slice them, toss them in the oven. You can also buy these. These were in the international aisle, saved me a little time. I've got them layered in there for an added flavor, but the consistent crunch with your tortilla chips. All right, I'm adding to that Mojo pork. I've got this lovely pork here that has some lime juice. It has a little bit of oregano, a lot of garlic. So I'm going to layer this on top. And then to that, I'm going to add some pickled red onions. Again, you can pickle them yourself or you can find them in the store. Love these. They've got that nice tangy mwah to go with it. And it gives it some color as well. I actually found a jarred brand I really like that I'm going to share with you because I just thought it was so cool. It is Broken Taco Lime Pickled Onions. Tastes so good. Not spicy. There is some heat going on here, just like there's some heat with some of the guys coming to the plate in the World Baseball Classic. But this one we're going to keep a little bit more on the tame side. I am going to add to that a little queso fresco that I crumbled myself. So we're going to sprinkle some of that. This you can buy in the package in kind of a circular chunk, and I'll show you what that looks like as well. I bought it looking just like this. The brand is Supremo, and then I crumbled it myself, and I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of cilantro here. You can do it chopped up, but just for our presentation purposes, we're going to go ahead and do some big old leaves just to make it look pretty on your plate. All right, that's quadrant 1. Done. We're going to move on to our Japanese quadrant. Here we've got these little circular chips, and I'm going to add to that a nice little teriyaki chicken. You can do strips, you can do chunks, whatever's easiest for you. I sprinkled this one with some sesame seeds, so I'm going to add that to the top here. So every one of these has a different protein. And nachos supposed to be nice and messy, so of course we're sticking to that. In addition, I'm going to add some pickled vegetables here. Again, you can find these in the store. You can make them yourself. I did not realize they were so spicy, and I just plucked them out as if I was eating like bread and butter chips. Little heat to them. Traditionally, you would want to do maybe the pickled cucumbers, which again, you can buy the small cucumbers in the produce section and pickle them yourself. These, I've also got some carrots in here, some onion strips, so I got a little bit of color and a little bit of heat there. I'm going to add to it just a smidge of wasabi, because we all know that's going to add a lot of spice as well. And if you haven't seen who's adding the spice for Team Japan, you have not been watching Of course it's Shohei. He's got one of those 3 Grand Slams we've seen already in the World Baseball Classic. And boy, he's putting up some big numbers already. You expected that, didn't you? I'm going to add some scallions on top. And our Japanese quadrant is also finished. All right. So if you haven't been watching, here's some of the fun for me is seeing all these guys who are names you know. These are guys who are the best of the best. They're the guys you see in Major League Baseball all the time, and they're all smushed together in one place. There's nobody weak in that lineup. Watching Team USA the other day where PCA is batting 9th, that's a pretty stacked lineup. Aaron Judge looking amazing. So many guys come to the plate and go, oh, this guy's going to have a big at-bat. But that's everybody, 1 through 9. Bryce Harper, love watching him come to the plate. So it's been a lot of fun seeing these guys we know and love in Major League Baseball, but dispersed to their different national teams. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Let's move on to our Mexico section here. And this is kind of like the street ball vibe. That's what we're loving about Team Mexico here. Again, seeing the celebration in Houston when they demolished Brazil tonight, that's a party going on down there. It's going to be a fun one shaping up on Monday night. We'll get to that in a second. All right, so for Team Mexico, I'm doing some carne asada here. I'm just going to put my nice marinated steak layered across the top. These are kind of big chunks. Probably could have broken those down a little bit more. That's okay. You're hanging out with your peeps watching baseball. They're not going to mind if you're gnawing on a big old hunk of beef, right? Okay. So there's that. I've got a fiesta corn, which is corn with some peppers, some cilantro, some red onion, and I've got cotija cheese on top of it. Look at the bright color that's giving you. And this one, again, doesn't have a ton of heat to it, but you can. You can make it a little bit spicy if you want. This one for me is just fresh flavor. Now wait a minute, the hot dogs are supposed to be the Americanized part of baseball. Yeah, when you have 3 Shih Tzus in the other room while you're in the kitchen, there's going to be a little bit of yapping, but they've been silenced. I just gave them a treat. That was all. They are silent for now, but they know there's some pretty good stuff going on here. All right, I'm going to add some avocado crema to my beautiful Mexican street vibe nachos here. And that's just some smashed avocados that I mixed in with sour cream. And, oh, it smells so good. And then I'm gonna add a little more of my cotija cheese on top, which is almost kind of like it's like that shaker cheese. When you get the Parmesan Kraft shaker cheese, that's kind of the texture of it. It's light, it's fluffy, and it brings a nice little finishing touch there. All right, we're bringing it home with the good old US of A, where I have pulled pork that I just happened to make the other night for dinner. Worked out perfectly. Threw my pork tenderloin in the slow cooker first thing in the morning. Oh my gosh. When you come home after a long day and you've got that wonderful smell, life is good and dinner is easy. So I shredded up some of that pork tenderloin that I made. And I am going to add a little bit of barbecue sauce to the top. Whatever kind you like, but we're going to make it look a little fancier. Just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and toss a few of our lovely little fried onions on here. I love these things. They're great in salads. If you've never tried them in a salad, they give you some crunch, they give you the salt, and you don't have to tear up while you're cutting actual onions. All right, now I'm going to throw some cheese on top, because all our nachos have cheese, right? All right. And then, of course, just to be a little cheesy, I'll melt it down just a little bit. Normally, you know, you have your cheese on top of meat that's come right out of the oven or right out of the skillet. I'm just going to melt it down there a little bit on the fly. And then, if you want to bring some heat here, you can add a few jalapenos on top, make it look pretty, a little garnish. And again, I'm not a big spicy person, but if you want to bring the heat, we've got a lot of options here. So what is this setting up? Mexico versus the U.S. Monday night. Hot ticket, standing room only right now. It is a rematch of 2023 when Mexico beat the U.S. Neither team went on to win the championship, but a little bit of revenge maybe for the U.S.? I don't know. It seems like a friendly rivalry, right? Some of the stuff we've been seeing, the managers in this World Baseball Classic, I'm loving seeing these guys in the dugout. Albert Pujols managing the other day. I didn't even recognize him. He had glasses on. He's looking very professorial, but there he is, managing the Dominican Republic. You've got guys on the U.S. team that you know and love. David Ross is your bullpen coach rather. You have Andy Pettit, who's your pitching coach. You're seeing guys like Matt Holliday as your hitting coach. You're seeing guys with sons playing in the games. So you have, for example, Andrew Jones, who's managing the Netherlands, managing his son, Drew Jones. You have Dusty Baker managing in this World Baseball Classic. You have guys that have the White Sox tie in Jose Contreras, whose 17-year-old son was pitching the other day. This kid is a high school senior, and he got Aaron Judge to ground into an inning-ending double play. So nice job by Joseph Contreras, who is the youngest player in this year's World Baseball Classic. You also have a guy who you might remember, Manny Ramirez. His son looks just like him, Lucas Ramirez, playing in this one as well. He's only 20 years old. He had 2 home runs in the same game. Youngest player in World Baseball Classic history to have 2 home runs in the same game. But again, this is what makes it fun. You see these guys that you know from their MLB history, their excellence in Major League Baseball, and now you're seeing them on a whole different stage. I'm loving it. I can't wait to see what comes up next, but there's some good games lining up, and it starts Monday night. U.S. and Mexico meeting up in Houston. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to have some baseball fervor going as we're still a couple weeks away from opening day in Major League Baseball. That'll do it for me. I'm going to dive into some of these nachos while I go and watch more of the highlights from this weekend's games. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me here in my kitchen.